Hey guys, what's going on? Jake Ryan is Epic here with my review for WrestleMania 31. Seth Rollins is the WWE Champion. He cashed in Money in the Bank last night. I couldn't be more happy for him. He's worked so hard to get to this point, from the Shield to the breakup of the Shield, through the Ambrose rivalry till now. He's just grown so much and he's gotten to this point. All I have to say is congratulations to him. I hope he holds the title for a really long time. Just congratulations to Seth. You're my homeboy. You keep it 3-2-1-2-8. But overall, WrestleMania was just great. Like, something about WrestleMania, like, these past few years, like, the writing has been horrible on some occasions, but it all just seemed to come together at WrestleMania. I don't know why. I've tried to calculate it out. I've tried to consult my experts. I've tried to consult my friends who watch wrestling, who I watched WrestleMania last night with. They don't know. I don't know. It's just the WrestleMania effect. Like, every time we go into WrestleMania, the stories are just so rich and so awesome. I loved every minute of this WrestleMania. Let's just get right into it. So, we had the pre-show to start off. It was a 2-hour pre-show. In the second hour, we had 2 matches. We had the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the tag titles, and we had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the second annual. The tag team match was really good. We had Cesaro and Tyson Kidd versus the New Day versus the Usos versus Los Matadores. Cesaro and Kidd ended up winning the match when Cesaro covered Big E after one of the Usos hit the splash on him. This was a really good match when you look at the pre-show. When you look at the pre-show, this was definitely the best match of the pre-show. I saw Natalya put El Torito in the sharpshooter, which made me so happy because I hate that little bull. I hate it. And it was just awesome. Like, every one of those guys were working their butts off to impress the crowd. And everyone was there from, like, the opening of the pre-show till the end of the night. Like, nobody left except to, like, go to the bathroom or get a drink or something like that. Or a snack, whatever case may be. But Cesaro and Kidd ended up retaining their titles. I was happy about that. Congratulations to them. Next up, we had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the second annual. Big Show ends up winning when he eliminates Mizdow. Now, Mizdow does a complete face turn by eliminating The Miz. I hope that WWE does something with Mizdow because we cannot go through another period of Damien Sandow just jobbing out to everybody. You know what I'm talking about. After he lost Money in the Bank, he was just a glorified jobber. You all can agree with me on this. Whether you like Damien Sandow or you hate Damien Sandow. And whether you love Mizdow or do you hate Sandow, it doesn't matter. He was just constantly crapped on. And at a point, I was like, boy, who's he gonna lose to this week? Now he's got a fresh start. He's got a fresh lease on life. And now he's got The Miz out of the way. It's now up to Mizdow. He can do basically whatever he wants. He could challenge Seth Rollins for the world title if he wanted to. Well, if the Authority wants him to anyway. But the important thing is that Big Show won. I'm kind of happy for him that he won, but I'm not so happy about, I have very mixed feelings. I'm glad Big Show won, but in another way, I'm not so glad because I wanted, Hideo Itami to win, although there was probably no chance that he was going to win. Maybe Ryback was going to win, but anyone but the Big Show. But you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm just happy that he finally got the Battle Royal win. The win in a Battle Royal that has been escaping him for so long. Now we're moving on to the actual card. The first match was the Intercontinental title ladder match between Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, Bad News Barrett, Stardust, R-Truth, and Luke Harper. This was a very spot-heavy match, but you know what? That was no problem because everyone pulled their weight. Even Stardust, who brought out this bedazzled ladder, I swear to God, Thank God Bad News Barrett took that out before Stardust could embarrass himself and use it, because nobody wanted to see a bedazzled ladder at a WrestleMania. No. At least I didn't. I don't know about you. But Daniel Bryan ends up winning when he pulls down the Intercontinental title. I hope that the Intercontinental title is in the spotlight more than it has been in recent years. I hope that it is not just put to the wayside. And I think Daniel Bryan is the guy who can elevate it to new heights, because before Rollins won the title last night, Brock Lesnar, we only saw him like maybe once every like 3 or 4 weeks or so. But now maybe we could see a consistent champion like Rollins. And I hope that with the Intercontinental champion, we could see a lot of like champion versus champion matches. You never know. Anyway, the next match was Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, who Seth Rollins, of course, had a very busy night. But Randy Orton ends up winning with the craziest RKO out of nowhere I have ever seen. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, we've seen one RKO out of nowhere. We've seen them all, Jake. What's so special about this? Well, Seth Rollins backs up for the curb stomp, runs to do the curb stomp, jumps up, gets on Orton's head. He lifts Seth with his head. Seth jumps in the air, catches him for the RKO 1, 2, 3 pinfall. That was the perfect ending to this match. It was a pretty average match when you think about it, but it was just so good in the fact that you had this ending planned out that nobody saw coming. Like everyone's like, oh man, I can't wait for this match to be over. Oh wait, he's going for a curb stomp. What was that? You know, it was just crazy. It was a crazy ending to a pretty good match. Like a movie that you would like see. Like, it would be boring up until the ending. It would just be that good. So then we had Triple H versus Sting, 14 years in the making. Now Sting came out with like this Chinese band that had like drums and cymbals and stuff that played his entrance, which was cool, and it would have been cooler if it had been at night. Like, it's in California. I know that it's like a 3-hour time difference where I live. I live in Florida. So it's a 2 or 3 hour time difference over there. But if it could have been darker, and if it were darker, it would be cooler. Like the whole drumming of the band thing, and the guy with the big cymbal who looked like he was having fun. Why couldn't that be at night? And I know it's probably like how California is, but it'd just be cooler if it were dark. But Triple H ends up winning with the little sledgehammer, and we saw a reenactment of the Monday Night War. We saw members of DX and the NWO show up. The NWO on Sting's behalf, we saw Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, who just won the Hall of Fame 2 nights ago. And then we saw DX, we saw Road Dogg, we saw Billy Gunn, we saw X-Pac, and Shawn Michaels made a guest appearance. He super kicked the heck out of Sting. You gotta go watch that super kick again because it was just phenomenal. But Sting still kicked out of the super kick, and it wasn't until the mini hammer to the skull got him and Triple H got the win. But then we had a bit of respect there, which I'm glad that there's like a mutual little thing going on with Triple H and Sting. So then we had AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bella Twins in the cool down match. This was just your generic Divas match. I didn't catch most of this one because I was mostly playing Here Comes the Pain with my buddy Phil, who I was watching with. But, you know, this was a cool down match. There's nothing really much to say. AJ beat Nikki Bella with the Black Widow. Let's just move on. Next match was John Cena versus Rusev for the United States title. Rusev comes out on a tank that comes into the arena, and these guys with like Russian flags and cannons, and then Cena comes out with the jabroni entrance, like the traditional rap-a-doo music and the Be a Star, Smelly Pants, you know, thing. He feels lucky, he feels great, it's time to go to work. He throws his hat into the crowd. It's just his generic entrance, while Rusev had the flags and the tank and everything. It's just two completely different worlds. But Cena ends up winning with the AA to Rusev. We all saw this coming. But it was cool when Cena did the second rope stunner, when he jumped on the second rope, caught Rusev into a stunner. I thought he did like a springboard elbow, like a back elbow. No, he caught him into a stunner. And you could tell Stone Cold was like, hell yeah, like drinking his beer. No, next we had The Rock come out and interrupt the Authority, who basically said, we own all of you. Stephanie mostly said that. But then The Rock comes out and says, oh no, you don't own The Rock and you don't own the people. So then The Rock comes out and brings Ronda Rousey with her. The UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion, undefeated. She comes in there and she takes down Triple H. Like, she does a snapmare takedown on Triple H. He is no small man. Like, she does a snapmare on Triple H. It is just incredible. And then it looks like she just broke Stephanie McMahon's arm, which I thought was really hysterical. But that was overall a cool segment. I thought going into this, like when I heard The Rock's music, I'm like, oh god, here we go. He's going to explain about how he woke up at 5:30 in the morning, went to the gym, clanged and banged, went across a certain iconic bridge to a certain stadium, saw his mom, did all that sort of thing. But no, it was actually a pretty cool segment. Now, the next match was The Undertaker vs. Bray Wyatt. Now, I didn't see much of this match, I only caught the ending because I was driving home from my buddy's house. But The Undertaker ended up winning with the Tombstone Piledriver on Bray. I'm kind of happy that The Undertaker won, but, if Bray's going to be this whole new Face of Fear thing, I think Bray should have won. But The Undertaker was my pick to win, and I'm glad that he won. Now, finally we have our main event. It is the WWE World Heavyweight title match between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar dominated this match. He took Roman Reigns to Suplex City. Like, there were suplexes everywhere, knee lifts. Like, Brock Lesnar could just suplex and knee lift for the rest of his career, and he will get into the Hall of Fame. Nobody else could pull that off. Brock Lesnar is the only guy who could pull that off. But then Roman Reigns comes back and hits him with 3 Superman punches and 2 spears, and that's still not enough to put down Brock. And Brock hit Roman with 3 F5s. That still didn't work. Then Seth Rollins comes out with the crazy music, cashes in, and becomes world champion. Like I said, I'm happy about that. This main event was pretty good up until Seth Rollins. And I'm sure everyone was like, oh great, this is going to be our main event. Yeah, great show leading up to this. And then Seth Rollins came out and like, alright, we can pay attention now. But anyway, you guys, what did you guys think about WrestleMania? Did you guys like it? Did you hate it? Or were you indifferent? Tell me about it in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please follow me on all my social media links, which are also posted in the description. And also listen to the Ringside Seat podcast, which a link will be in the description on that as well. Join me every Wednesday with myself, Phil Nunziata, and I'm me, just Billy. It's a fun podcast. I swear you won't regret it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Too sweet me.